Okay, thanks, Jordan. Uh, Obviously frustrated, disappointed on that result yesterday, and we're spending time right now watching it with the players and trying to learn from that. And hard to win on the road, and certainly hard when you do some of the things we did in that ball game. But we're committed to this thing, and we'll just find ways to get better in all areas, and we'll go from there. Big division game at our place this week. With that, I'll take any questions.
All right, first question will go to Mary Kay.
Yeah, Kevin, just wondering about the fact that news just came down that Brian Daboll got let go. Just wondering, I mean, I know you know Brian, and I know how you felt like when it happened to Brian Callahan. My question is then, I mean, how do you feel about it? And also, these guys are coaching rookie quarterbacks. I mean, can be a tough gig, right?
Yeah, obviously, I have a personal relationship with a lot of guys, Mary Kay, in this league, so you don't like to see that for them. So I'll keep those type of things between us. But yeah, it's you always feel for anybody out there who's going through that type of thing.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next question will go to Scott.
Hey, Kevin. It feels like a loss like yesterday's could, I don't know, be tougher to get over than some. So how do you get everybody to bounce back, especially sitting at 2-7?
Yeah, they're all hard to swallow, Scott. It's this business. So you never get used to it, and it stings. Having said that, you have to turn around and get right back at it. So that's what we'll do. We got to quickly learn from it, and then, like I said, you guys move forward to a division game at our place.
And when you go back and look at those two kick returns for touchdowns, what stands out, and then what changes can you make to special teams? Because it's happened before.
Yeah, obviously, not good enough. We can be way, way better than that. Some of these big ones, you got to get the guy on the ground and limit, what could be a bad return for you, but get him on the ground for a gain of 20 or whatever it is. So frustrating for those balls to go the other way on us, and we'll look at them and learn from them and understand how we can be better in a technique sense. And then we'll look at how we can move our guys around to make sure we got guys in the right spots, and like we always do. But yeah, that's tough to win on the road, tough to win a football game, giving up those two returns.
Thanks.
All right, next we'll go to Jeff.
Kevin, I'm going to ask you about those returns too. How do you stay confident in Bubba Ventrone when it has been a problem all year?
Yeah, listen, I have a ton of faith in Bubba. I have a ton of faith in our special teams. We have to be better. That's the case. There are ways that we can try to be better, but it's definitely we'll continue to coach our guys hard. We'll continue to give them the techniques to use. But I trust our guys. I trust that we'll get back to work.
You have to make changes on those coverage units.
I think you'll throughout the game, Jeff, and throughout the season, you're always making changes with guys, and depending on who's available to you in a given game. So we'll always look at those things.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, next we'll go to Daryl.
Yeah, Kevin, just what progress have you seen from Dylan start 1 to start 5? What areas have you seen drastic improvement?
Well, I think with young quarterbacks, Daryl, it's understanding that there's going to be ups and downs. Can Dylan play better? Yes, he can. Can we play better around him? Yes, we can. Can we coach him better? Yes, we can. So I understand the question, but I just trust that our young players at every position, and certainly at the quarterback position, are guys that are going to work their tails off to get better every single day.
And Jimmy Haslam said during training camp that you knew that seeing both young quarterbacks at some point this season was important. So just where is Shedeur at as far as his development? And do you have a timetable of when you would take a look at him?
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to speculate, Daryl. We're committed to getting better as an offense. Dylan is certainly committing to improving every which way he can, and all the while, all of our players, young players, are developing and working so hard behind the scenes to make sure that they're getting better on a daily basis.
All right, next we go to Tony.
Thank you. Thank you. Kevin, if you could take us behind the curtain a little on that 4th down with 10 minutes to go. You're in plus territory, 4th and 1. Now, under your present setup, you decide to go for it, but who calls that play?
Well, let me first say this, Tony. I'm responsible for every decision, every play call, offense, defense, special teams. So I'll own all of it. And I trust our players. I trust our coaches. We obviously did not get the result we wanted there. And the desire, obviously, on 3rd down and on 4th down is to get that first. We came up short, but bottom line is it's my responsibility.
But I mean, since you just made the play calling change, is it fair to say that Tommy called the play and you just agreed with the play?
Yeah, I'm not going to go behind the curtain all the way, Tony. Just to tell you, I trust Tommy, just like I trust Jim. I always have the ability to step in when necessary, but I'm going to always, give my coaches who I trust. I'm going to give them the opportunity. Are there times that you change a call? Yeah, there are. But bottom line is we did not come through there.
All right. Thank you.
All right, next go to Ashley.
Hey, Kevin, I wanted to ask about Carson. I mean, I know it sounded like his prognosis with the ankle was always really good, like playing was on the table for him fairly early. It seemed like you guys knew, but to fight through that, to work through that in the bye week, and then to perform the way he did, like what does that say about him and the rookie season that he's having?
Yeah, he has Wolverine blood, I believe is what it says. The kid's playing at an extremely high level. For him to come back from that injury and perform like he did, it was incredible to watch. And really throughout that bye week, he just kept getting better and better, and you felt like there'd be a chance of him playing. So, I have not looked around the league at how other guys are playing and that type of thing, but I'd be hard pressed to believe there's a defensive player as a rookie that's playing better than him. And then factor in what he came back from, it's pretty remarkable.
Thanks.
All right, next go to Fred.
Hey, Kevin, I wanted to ask you, I mean, with the offense, it seems like the offense is pretty fragile, and has a tough time handling adversity. And I use the idea they went 95 yards, looked really good. Then you have the kick return. And after that, it took until Ronnie Hickman's interception to kind of get them jump started again. Do you agree that they have a tough time right now handling adversity? And if you don't agree with it, why?
Yeah, I think our guys responded at times in the game. Fred, did we play perfect? No, obviously we did not. I thought there were some missed opportunities in the run game. There were some missed opportunities in the pass game. You're not going to get every single one of those, but our guys, they're going to fight to the end. We didn't come through, as a football team, but the guys understand what an NFL game is like, and there are those ups and downs throughout the game.
And what about undisciplined? You kind of had 10 penalties, 78 yards, a lot of pre-snap and things that, even the first play of the game, Judkins goes 15 and gets called back. How can you adjust to those things?
Yeah, obviously, the pre-snap penalties are ones that we really can control. And post-snap, we can be great with our technique. But I believe we had 3 pre-snap penalties on offense, which is 3 too many on the road. We know the situation at the end there. We can be better. We will be better.
Thank you.
All right, next we go to Cam.
Kevin, kind of off of that, I mean, I know you want to be better and you'll preach kind of those techniques and making sure they'll clean them up. But what does that look like? I think I've asked you about this before. What does that look like in a week when you're trying to ensure that disciplined, you don't get those pre-snap penalties?
Well, I think you emphasize it every week, like we do with the players in all meetings out on the practice field, and we talk about avoiding the avoidable ones, which are those pre-snap penalties, and making sure you're in the right formation, making sure you're not jumping off sides and those type of things. So we obviously we're not good enough in that area last week, and we will make sure that we emphasize it again, and make sure that it's something that's a strength of ours, and particularly it should be at home.
And you mentioned a little earlier just some of those changes that happen in a game, throughout a season. Dylan Gabriel brought up the phrase, if you keep doing the same things and don't change anything, it's the definition of insanity. Do you feel that you as a coach and this team has changed enough to create actual results on the field, or is there more that you need to change to turn this thing around?
Yeah, bottom line, Cam, is we need to play better football on all three sides of the ball, and we're going to start doing that this week at home, division opponent.
Thanks.
All right, next, Joe.
Kevin, just when looking back at the film and everything, what was your overall thoughts on how Tommy called the game?
Yeah, I think you guys will have a chance to talk to Tommy this week. I thought we had some opportunities there. We weren't perfect in any facet, so certainly weren't perfect on offense, but plenty to build off of.
And then just dovetailing off Cam and asking about things getting fixed during the week on pre-snap penalties and stuff. When you guys have the officials in for practices during the week, can you ramp that up with maybe them calling things a little bit closer than what they might normally do in terms of maybe preventing that?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with how we structure that part of practice. It's a point of emphasis for our football team, and it will continue to be a point of emphasis.
Okay, thanks.
All right, next go back to Scott.
Kevin, going back to that 4th and 1, what should have happened there, or what went wrong that you weren't able to execute?
Yeah, obviously, first thing I'd tell you, Scott, is you give them credit. That they did a good job, good defensive call versus what we were doing. Tried to get into a different formation and go quickly, but they did a nice job.
And then going back to Carson, there was one pretty big play where he wound up without a helmet on. Should that have been a penalty on that screen for a touchdown? Or what'd you see when you looked at that?
Yeah. Listen, they made a good play call. We got to try to get that guy on the ground, no matter what.
Got it. Thanks.
All right, next go back to Mary Kay.
Yeah, Kevin, just wondering, what does give you total faith in Bubba and the special teams, not just after what happened yesterday, but at various points throughout the season? There was another punt return for a touchdown and some other things that have gone on, but what kind of makes you feel that way?
Yeah, I think I get to watch our coaches coach. I get to watch our guys work, Mary Kay. We need to improve. We understand that. Those two returns yesterday are really disappointing, and our guys understand, everybody's role that we play in this thing. So we'll get it fixed.
All right, we'll go to Tony.
Okay. Can you hear me? Yep. My weekly question, would Deshaun Watson be cleared to practice this week?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's what we're doing.
Okay. And this was your first game this year, not calling plays. Did you do anything differently from last year when you were in this position?
No, obviously my role is to make sure everybody's in position to succeed, and I'll continue to look for ways to do that.
Okay.
All right, and last one from Daryl.
Yeah, Kevin, I wanted to ask you about that 4th and 4. Cam getting called off sides there. On TV, it looked like you were yelling the situation not to jump. The announcers were talking about it. Just where's your frustration level go when it's such a critical point in the game where you're trying to get the ball back in the last minute, so you at least have a chance, and a major mental mistake happens in such an obvious situation?
Yeah, as you know, Daryl, that's anything that happens in the football field is my responsibility. I got to make sure that the guys are aware of what's going on. one play is not going to be the determining factor of that ball game. There are plenty of plays that we need to be better, but that's my job to make sure these guys understand those situations.
Thanks.
All right, that wraps us up. Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
All right, guys, well, you know when Ronnie Hickman or Ethan Pocic are on the way. All right, guys, Ronnie Hickman's on the way if you want to get questions ready. All right, everyone, we have Ronnie Hickman here. If you have questions, raise your hand and we will call on you.
Can y'all hear me?
Gotcha. All right, first question, we're going to Mary Kay.
Yeah, Ronnie, just wondering, I mean, you went out there, you made a big play for the team yesterday, Justin's first interception of the season, and then you guys capitalized on it. How frustrating for you that you guys weren't able to close out that game and finish it out and get the win?
Yeah, it's tough. Especially when you cut the tape on and you kind of see those mistakes are, very self-inflicting and things that, we can we could have done better at. So it's very frustrating. But you got to move on.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next we're to Cam.
Hey, Ronnie, amid all of these struggles that the team has had on in whatever phase it may be, like how are you guys as an entire unit, not just defense and offense, special teams? How are you guys as a full team getting yourselves through these struggles, trying to make sure that locker room doesn't spiral, that in the case of so many teams that it can?
I think it's just a test to the bond we have as, as teammates in this locker room and, everyone in this building. Coach Stefanski preaches about family and we take that to heart, whether that's good and bad, wins and losses. So, the conversations, they're going to be tough, but as a family, you're going to have those moments. And we just got to learn from it and get better.
Does it feel like for you, like there's enough going on in the week, enough maybe adjustments and changes before the game that can create change and it's just not going your way? Or like, does there need to be more change in a week before a game to get that action on the field?
I think we had a great week of practice. I think guys were locked in and on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. I felt like there was energy. I thought we came out of the bye week, um, on the same page as a team, as a whole unit. It just comes down to executing on Sunday and then, those self-inflicting, plays that'll cost you in the end.
Thanks, Ronnie.
All right, next go to Ashley.
Hey, Ronnie, I know the defense came off the field after those first three plays. You forced the 3 and out and you guys score. And then the next time you go on the field, it's a 14-7 deficit because of the 2 special teams touchdowns. I guess, what was happening with you guys as you go back out there and suddenly you're trailing and it's a totally different situation?
I think, the sudden change thing as a defense, we've been able to grow throughout the years. But I know for us as a defense, our number one goal is to get the ball back to our offense. And I think we've improved as far as, those sudden changes where you're back on the field or the scoreboard changes drastically. As a defense, no matter what it is, when they put that ball down, our main job is to get the ball back to the offense.
And I know, like special teams, Bubba's been like such a focus. It seems like from the outside, Kevin talked about still believing in him and what everyone can do on special teams. I guess for players, like what has that been like and that relationship with him?
Yeah, Bubba, he's a great special team coach and he's very passionate. I think if you ask anyone in the building or who's been around him, he cares, not just about, the special teams, but, just about the guys in this locker room and the guys that, that play for him in this organization. Um, so, it's on us as players to go out there, and do our job.
All right, next go to Scott.
Hey, Ronnie, I wanted to follow up with that about Bubba. So after a game like yesterday where they give up the 2 kick returns for touchdowns, what is Bubba like, on the sideline after the game or even today in meetings?
I mean, he's coaching. He's going over corrections and he's coaching.
Kevin earlier said that he has a ton of faith in Bubba. Like, does yours ever get shaken when there's a game like that where special teams is a big part of a loss?
No, it's not really my job to be, being shaky about a coaching position or whatever you're trying to get at. But Bubba's our coach, and he coaches us throughout the week hard. He puts us in good positions. And that's that.
Thanks.
All right, last call for questions for Ronnie. All right, thanks, Ronnie. All right, one more from Ashley. Sorry.
Sorry, I couldn't get my hand raised fast enough, Jordan. Ronnie, I just wanted to ask about Carson because it just seems like he's been playing so well for a rookie, and Kevin today said he had Wolverine blood for going out there and fighting through the high ankle sprain. And just from your perspective in that defense, in the back of that defense, watching what he does, how much has he made an impact in his first year with you guys?
Yeah, I think you guys see it. I think, everyone's watching the game, can see the type of impact a player like that has. So, it's just been great. He's a young guy, but able to impact the game in, such a tremendous way. And for him to come back after, the little injury he had and still be extremely productive and making plays for us is huge and just a testament to, the type of player he is and, how much he wanted to be back out there with his guys.
All right, thanks, Ronnie. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, guys, let you know when Ethan's on the way. All right, everyone, we have Ethan here. If you want to raise your hands, we will call on you.
What's up, y'all?
In a second. All right, first question will go to Scott.
Hey, Ethan.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Hey, obviously 6 sacks yesterday. When you went back and watched the film, I know a lot goes into it, but what did you see as the biggest problems there?
Yeah, we just gotta execute better, and all work together, and um, just fine tune a thing here, a thing there.
And overall, that felt like a really difficult loss to take yesterday. 2 kick returns and defense plays really well and dropped to 2-7. So how as a group do you guys keep your heads up and try to figure out a way to bounce back?
Well, I would say individually, I just trust God. I trust God's plan. I just trust in God. So I just continue to control what I can control, with my preparation, and I think the same goes for the team, just continuing to control what we can control, and we just got to come out Wednesday and have a great practice and get things rolling.
Thanks.
All right, next we go to Ashley.
Hey, Ethan, Wyatt yesterday was talking about how some parts of the offense still felt more effective than maybe they had previously. I guess, like, do you agree? And he talked about like some yards per carry that you guys had without having really explosive runs and things like that. Was there anything else?
Yeah, I would just say like some days like certain runs works better. It's nothing like, it was just like yesterday the duo was working really nice. So um but I don't look too deep into this or that or whatever. Sometimes like football just like goes a certain way, and like yesterday kind of just went that way with like duo and like one of those like vertical games going vertical in the run game. So I don't look too deep into all that. So I know some people do, and like analytics and all analytics and all that stuff and everything.
Thank you.
All right, next we go to Spencer.
Hey Ethan. Obviously it was Tommy's first time calling the plays on offense for you guys. Wyatt and Joel, as Ashley alluded to, sort of talked about some of the positive steps that they felt like their progress that was made. Just what did you think overall of Tommy's vision and sort of the execution of the game plan offensively?
Yeah, I thought he did a great job. I got trust in every coach on the staff to call plays or, whatever their role is. And I thought Tommy filled in, and he did a real good job. And I think there's some few stuff that players need to execute, and myself included in that. And so like I'm just saying there's some hidden yardage out there that would have made Tommy look even better. But we just got to execute on a few more plays.
Thanks.
All right, next one for Mary Kay.
Yeah, Ethan, just wondering, Kevin Stefanski told us yesterday that he is sticking with Dylan Gabriel. So just wondering what your thoughts are on that and what you've seen, what you saw in Dylan really yesterday.
Yeah, Dylan, he's like progressing a lot, and we got to remember he's still a rookie, and I think he's playing great. I think he's doing his job. I think he's not trying to do too much. I think he's just, he's in his role and he's doing a great job, and he's taking coaching, and he's got a great attitude every day, and I think he's just gonna keep getting better. So I think I really like the kid. I really do, and I like his attitude, his demeanor, and everything he brings.
How do you think the Tommy Reese called offense was kind of good for Gabriel yesterday?
Yeah, so I don't know too much about because I'm not in that quarterback room. But I think it went well. We scored 20 points. It could have been better. We could have executed a little better, kind of like what I said earlier as players, and so it could have even been better.
Thank you.
All right, next from Cam.
Hey, Ethan, what is it about this team, the players, the coaches, that makes you feel like you aren't just saying we will be better, we can be better, but that you actually can do that and can execute and turn this thing around?
Yeah, like so to answer your question, um, you know, we lost yesterday and that's not good enough, but there's still bright spots on the tape. There's still things that when we look at it and we, maybe something, maybe they win that play and we come back to the sideline. All right, if they're going to do this, we're going to do this. And then we fix it. And so I got full faith in this team, the coaches, everybody, the trainers, the equipment staff, the weight room coaches, everybody. So the lunch cafeteria people. So we're going to get it. We just got to keep working.
How important is that mindset, do you think, to make sure that you're building off of that and not letting things spiral in the locker room, in the building, in the organization?
Yeah, like the only option in this league is really to just fight, keep fighting. Like there's there's no other option. And that's all I know, that's all we know. So like to 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 do anything else and to not strive for wins and fighting and perfection and everything, that's all we know.
Thanks.
Yep.
All right, Mary Kay, do you have another one?
No.
All right, last call for Ethan. All right, that wraps